Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Skald against the Black Priory. As today I continue my ongoing struggle between my love of dad jokes and the general somber and grim nature of this world we now find ourselves immersed within. But who knows, maybe today we'll find some actual campy content to help perhaps lighten the mood ever so slightly. And failing that, perhaps we'll at least be able to help a few folks, without it turning into a horrid monkey's paw situation. Hello. Dancing Russian nesting doll? The child is ragged and muddy and crying in great big sobs. As you approach, she wipes her nose and looks up at you, her eyes widening somewhat at the sight of Roland. I'd prefer we just got on with our work, Roland grunts. Yeah, just a moment. Hey, what's wrong?
I can't find Frogert. I just had him and I was playing and now he's gone and all alone somewhere.
Frogert, you say? Pray tell, what might he look like?
Frogert's small and green and fluffy, and he's my best friend, and now I've lost him.
The girl looks truly heartbroken. This wouldn't happen to be the impious amphibian, would it? Remember, frogs are amphibians, not reptiles.
Frogert!
The girl snatches the stuffed animal from you and showers it with hugs and kisses. She then turns towards you, but instead of giving you a hug, she dashes past you and throws her arms around Roland's waist. The old warrior looks startled at the sudden show of affection. All right, girl, you've had your frog back. There's proper work to be done now. The girl steps back.
Frogert says thank you.
Well, you tell Frogert that we were happy to help. It's what we do. Despite the squalor surrounding the girl, she's now smiling from ear to ear.
Frogert is glad to be back. Hey, do you want to play a game?
Sure, why not? What's the worst that could happen? How could they possibly spoil this moment of whimsy?
It's a rhyme. All the kids in my street play it, or at least we used to.
She hesitates for a moment before proceeding with renewed vigor.
The movements are left, left, both, right, both, skip. Let's try them first, and then we can add the words.
Yeah, sure. Left, left, both, right, both, skip. Left, left, both, right, both, skip. Left, both, right, both, skip. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Left, both, right, both, skip. You and Marsa face each other, and you can't help but feel a little out of place as you engage in the clapping game with the small girl. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Left, left, both, right, both, skip. Skip.
You did it! Now let's add in the words. Just say them after me.
You and Marsa proceed to repeat the pattern. This time, the girl begins to recite a rhyme.
Beware, beware, don't dare to sleep. It brings you dreams of ebb and flow, of churning seas and dreadful deep, and waves that lay the mountains low. But fear the mother most of all. Awake before you hear her bell. 1,000 young will hear her call. And that was how the giants fell.
Wow, some real 1-2 Freddy's coming to get you energy there. Albeit with the black goat of the woods. Drina cuts in with a surprisingly harsh tone.
Girl, where did you learn such superstitious bilge?
Marsa looks up at Drina with a startled look.
All the children are doing it. I thought...
Drina's face softened slightly. I don't think it is fitting, my girl. Certainly not now. Farron, let's just be on our way. Oh, interesting. Right, she did say I guess that would smack of ocean worship, which she said was against Imperial Tenet. I wonder how that would have played out if we hadn't actually had her with us. Though the odds of that happening seem pretty slim, unless someone deliberately avoids taking her, because she's right there at the entrance as you're coming in, and you have to walk all the way across the camp to find the missing stuffed animal. Let me run through this again real quick, just to see if anything changes. No, apparently not. Not a big deal, but I might have had her refuse to play it again if we still had Drina with us. Just to kind of imply that we might want to try temporarily shuffling Drina out of our party at a rest point. Bloody vermin. You seem like a charmer. A balding man with a hard, wrinkled face and the texture of old leather stands leaning against the wall of the farmhouse. He's thoughtfully chewing a straw as he dejectedly surveys the muddy chaos that was once his well-kept farm. The man mutters something under his breath and spits as a group of refugees pass. As he notices you lingering, he fixes you with a bitter frown. What do you want? More leeches come to bleed me? No, I was actually hoping we could come to an agreement. This is your farm, is it not? He scoffs. If you can still call it that. It's ruined. All my crops are trampled and my goats are gone. We're going to starve next year thanks to this catastrophe. Yeah, it's just rough all over. Though I can't help but notice you still seem to have a large stone house, as opposed to all these squalid tents. So, I feel like you might still be a little, ever so slightly better off than other folk here. He scoffs and turns his back to you. Wait, I'm just here to talk. I didn't mean to offend. The man's eyes narrow, and you can see his jaw muscles tensing. Ooh, this guy's a tickety-talking time bomb. Look, I just want to see if I can help improve things between you and the refugees. Bloody wretches. They could have gone anywhere, but my farms were closest, and now they've picked me clean and trampled my fields. We're ruined. I mean, not for nothing, but if they had gone somewhere else and left you here by your lonesome, you would have almost certainly been killed by reavers, so there is that. The man's eyes narrow. He remains silent. Okay, look, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I'm here to talk about your goats. Yeah? What of them? Well, I heard they ran off, and I'm something of an adventurer. I could go try to retrieve them. Could you perhaps tell me where they may have ended up? Dead. They must be. Ran off into the forest when the sky fell, and nothing survives in that Emperor's forsaken place for long. You sure you don't want to run that by me again? The old man shifts uncomfortably. He looks down at his feet and sighs. I know it ain't right, but we borrowed hard from the Freelanders Guild to build this farm. And my goats, they're all I have left. If I lose them too, I'm done for. Me, my wife and son, indunchment for the lot of us. I get that, I do, but it feels like a loan might be the least of your worries right now given circumstances. Why don't you just tell me where the herd is? I'll bring it back, and we'll worry about surviving to see tomorrow, let alone next year. And I'll see if I can find some way to help compensate you. The farmer hesitates for a moment, and then his face hardens. Fuck you, and fuck this rotten pack of beggars and thieves. I'll die before I tell you. Well, you know, that is entirely possible. I guess we'll see. Interesting to see that diplomacy only got us so far. He still had a hard line he wasn't willing to cross. Which is, I suppose, realistic. You mind if I raid your house real quick? Oh, ma'am?
Oh, my poor boy.
Ooh, okay, there's our potential leverage then. Also, a couple of potion recipes, very nice. Let's add those to our Scrolodex. That was strength and acid resistance. Potion of acid resistance, Emerald King, Protoplasma, and Scale. And potion of strength. Egg Cluster, Star Spawn, and Tusk. Star Spawn, huh? Alright, ma'am, let's chat. Perhaps we can help with whatever you heard. The woman looks tired and sad as she wanders around the farmhouse aimlessly.
My poor boy,
she mutters under her breath. Pardon me, ma'am. I just happened to be passing through your living room and I couldn't help but overhear. What's wrong with your boy? I was just talking to your husband and he didn't mention anything.
Poor Aiden's stuck outside in the rain and fog. Jacob won't let him come home, not as long as...
Go on. Not as long as what? The woman looks at you apprehensively for a bit.
Not as long as these people are on our land. Aiden has to keep the goats safe, up in the hidden glen.
Is that so? Well, you know, you're right to be worried. It's not safe out there these days. I could go check on him if that would help put your mind at ease. She wipes a tear of relief.
Thank you so much. Go to the old goat enclosure east of our house and find the hole in the fence to the north. If you look carefully, you'll find some tracks. Follow them and they should take you right to the glen. And please don't tell Jacob I've talked to you. He only cares for the animals and he has a horrible temper.
Really? Well, you know, that does make me feel slightly better about ruining his livelihood. Though really the important thing here is your son. I'll see if I can get him back here safely. And there's our lead. You're not going to get mad if I crack this thing open, are you? My RPG instinct compels me to take everything that's not nailed down, but you never know. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm definitely taking those. And she's fine with it. Cool. Masterwork leather gloves of toughness. We'll just call this a down payment for services rendered. Ooh, no encumbrance penalty either. Which makes it ideal for Cat. Especially given, as aforementioned, her vulnerability to things like poison and illness. This will help offset that. The stench of disease and moans of the dying lie thick in the air of the makeshift infirmary. An aging cleric shuffles back and forth as he tries his best to tend to the patients. He exchanges a worried glance with Drina. Drahl, right? I think we got a name for this one. The gray-bearded cleric is thoughtfully wiping blood off his hands as you approach him. Oh, forgive me. I didn't see you there. Are you sick? Fever? Stomach pains? Bloody stool? No, none of the above. Should I be concerned? The man examines your eyes and looks in your mouth. No, you do in fact seem fine. Sadly, many are not so lucky. Is it as bad as we have suspected? Drina asks. Drahl leans in and his voice drops to a whisper. I fear it is worse. Some sort of infection is spreading, and so far I've been unable to cure it with neither spell nor concoction. I am, in fact, at my wit's end. A note of desperation creeps into the old man's voice. Well, Marcus sent us to help. What can we do? Just point us in the right direction. If I can't find a cure, this outbreak may be the death of us all. Though I wouldn't know where to start. That is... The old man furrows his brow. What? What is it? A woman, Hannah, came to me with her boy, struck down by the outbreak. She appeared a simple girl, and when she pleaded with me to look for a folk remedy, I chided her for it, called her foolish. Surely imperial medicine would prevail. Perhaps I was the fool? I wish now I had listened to her. She left camp, but I think she can be found in the little cottage south of here. I beg you, seek her out on my behalf, and hear what she has to say. Consider it done. I had some questions. Of course. What do you need, my child? Do you have any spare supplies to trade, perhaps? I do have a small surplus of supplies, yes. Also, if you're gravely wounded or suffering from disease and the like, I can assist you. Good to know. Ooh, I think those are spell books. Plus a modest assortment of various consumables, which are actually pretty reasonably priced, though we're not exactly swimming in gold right now. Man, I wish I'd held off on setting Drina's spells until I got a gander at this stash. We could have optimized our spell loadout. I do still see some, Actually, we do need this one, which we will take. Side note, I love that one spell is literally called Light Please. Light Please. Thank you. And I suppose it's just as well we didn't optimize our spell loadout with those books in mind, since we are also simultaneously trying to save up for those super expensive items over yonder. Alright, let's walk the perimeter. See what else we've got out here. Don't mind me. Actually, what am I doing? Yeah, we could just kill them. Engaging from this far back is honestly the ideal setup, since half of them don't even know we're here yet. They'll have to waste around activating. That aside, it is just spider crabs, nothing we haven't faced before. we'll be a little more concerned once we start encountering more unfamiliar foes. Though even there, we seem to be doing okay. Like I said, with that crab god, that corpse eater, I am a little worried we might be already running into a bit of a reverse difficulty curve. But we'll see how things balance out. Baron engaged. Should I? Yeah, we'll do 1 or 2 spells. And hang back. We've got it from here. Number 1 disarmed. Number 1 out. Man, the rest are definitely taking their time. Oh my goodness. Wow, that was a 24 damage hit before soak. Yikes, just goes to show you cannot let your guard down in this game. Overconfidence truly is a slow and insidious killer. We're all tripping over each other here. I'll have to get used to having this many people in the party at once. Target out. Declawed. And we're good. Okay, so we do have active hostiles in the area. We'll have to keep that in mind. Though again, nothing to worry about too much. We just have to be wary because crits happen. Nothing hidden out in the water. Ah, here's our cottage. Let's see how Hannah's doing. Hannah, I presume, also an errant recipe? I really should just sell these recipes. I'm accumulating them out of habit, but They serve no purpose once we've learned them. A tired-looking young woman is rocking back and forth, cradling a sick-looking child in her arms. The child whimpers in pain as the mother tries desperately to soothe him. Sorry, ma'am. Didn't mean to startle you. You must be Hannah, right? The woman peers up at you, her eyes wide and desperate. What's it to you? That old arse send you? Well, it don't matter now. My Alan's sick. He needs medicine. Medicine, right, that's why I'm here. Drahl said you might have a lead for us? Yes. Oh, if only I could visit Mother Katak. The women say she might be able to help my Alan, but dead emperors know if the old woman's even still alive. Mother Katak, that's a peculiar name. Who is she? An old woman who has provided us with remedies for as long as I can remember. She lives in the forest deep in the island's interior, but they say it's not safe to stray from the camp, and I couldn't leave my boy in any case. But you could go. If you tell her Hannah sent you, she'll know just what I need to cure Alan. Yeah, I'll look into that, but Drina, you're sure you can't do anything to help this child? You just cured Kat not too long ago. Drina touches the child's hands and forehead and examines the child's mouth. This infection is beyond me, she says in a low voice. Drahl was right. If this Mother Katak does indeed have a cure, we'll do well in paying her a visit. Very well. We'll certainly see what we can do. The mother clasps your hands. The Golden Ten bless you. I suppose the clerics will be wanting the medicine for the camp, but I beg this of you. Bring a dose to me, Alan, first. Please. I don't think he has long left. Yeah, we will certainly do that. Assuming this pans out, of course, and there aren't some weird catches or other obvious issues. Ah, we've got snakes. Giant snakes. Yeah, see, like, even if the refugees hadn't sought refuge at Jacob's farm, his farm would still be overrun by various monsters and or reavers. So it's not like he would have been all that much better off. If anything, he might have been worse. But, I guess that's just how some folks are, especially in times of crisis. Though, I mean, sending his son out by his lonesome to guard their herd of delicious goats is certainly a choice. Not too worried here. These seem fairly fragile. One out. Two. And three. Venom gland. Interesting. I'd wager 4 potions of cure poison. Also, potato. I would question why the refugees haven't stripped these fields bare, but then again, I suppose the giant snakes do kind of answer that. Pumpkin? Oh, there's our tracks. Yeah. Dozens of cloven hooves have churned a path through the mud, heading north into the foothills behind the camp. We don't want to follow those just yet, but let's see if we can glean some details. Looking closer, you can clearly make out a set of human footprints as well. It seems clear that these animals were herded out of the enclosure. So, yeah, nothing we don't already know. We'll circle back to that. Just want to finish clearing this map first. Especially given the fair amount of salvageables we're finding around here. And now straight across to fill out the middle. You approach a man, sweating profusely and caked in dirt. He's hunched over and panting, seemingly winded from the hard work of digging graves. "Who goes there?" The man jolts to, hefting his shovel as a weapon. "Easy, friend. I'm from the camp, just checking the perimeter. What's got you so jumpy?" "Why so jumpy?" he asks. "Well, since you ask, I drew the short straw, and it's fallen upon my wretched shoulders to bury the dead." He shoots Drina a sulking glance. "And if I don't get back to it, I'll be food for the fellhounds before you know it." Fellhounds? Haven't you seen 'em? Bloody monsters roam the hills in packs. I ain't never seen hounds like these before. Hulking and diseased looking. Come at night, they do. Dig up the graves I dig and eat the dead right out of them. Drina whispers a few words under her breath. Right, the dead. Drina looks at the man with a sad smile. The dead must be put in the ground lest disease run rampant. But take comfort. Tending to the dead is holy work. You'll have earned the grace of the golden tomb. The man looks down in shame. It's just that it doesn't feel like it is all. In the distance, a howl sounds, and the man straightens up like some prey animal, sensing a predator. He briefly squints into the perpetual twilight that covers the island, before grabbing his shovel and redoubling his efforts towards finishing his work. You know what? Why don't you head back? We'll finish up this grave task. You just get yourself safe. The man looks at you with slight confusion, then pushes his shovel into your hands. He thanks you profusely and runs back to camp. Drina nods in approval. That was a good deed. Yeah, well, it's not done yet. There are 2 corpses wrapped in linen before you. Their graves have been dug, but they still need to be filled in. The corpses are a man and a woman. Perhaps they were once man and wife. They look well fed, and there is no apparent cause of death. Drina looks stoically at the pair. They are with the Emperors now. Though I wonder what killed them. Mayhaps you should check. Hey, nice. As Drina looks the corpses over, she notices that their abdomens seem distended, beyond that of simple corpse gas. She apprehensively pokes at the swelling, and, to your horror, the mass begins to squirm and shift. Step back. There's something wrong here. With trembling hands, you cut into the pallid flesh and expose the entrails of the corpse. Drina leans in over your shoulder. Those entrails don't look... Her words are cut short as the entrails whip out of the wound in a mass of squirming, eyeless worms. Panicked, you frantically scuttle away from the tiny, snapping orifices when Roland charges past you with his shovel raised. The shovel makes short work of the tiny terrors, until both corpse and monster are reduced to a pulpy mass. Ashen-faced from horror, you push the broken corpses into their graves and quickly begin piling dirt onto them. As you work, Drina begins chanting. I mean, she has actual magic powers, I'm not going to question it. You wipe the grime from your face as you finish the grim task. Sadly, you suspect these are far from the last graves that will be made for the poor refugees of Harran before this is over. The darkness of night is pressing in around you, and as you prepare to leave, you notice movement just past the edge of the darkness. Before you manage to call out, slavering horrors charge at you. Blood will flow. I'm not too worried about this. 4 Fellhounds, we've certainly faced worse. Though they did beat us out on initiative, so we will position accordingly. Graves seem to be impassable, as is that bush. Baron and Drina engaged. Hang back. Save your points. Moving to contain. One out. Two. Three. And 4. Yeah, easy. And, oh my, we have... We have a number of simple graves here. Why are they all marked as interactive? Does that perhaps imply there might be 1 or 2 that are actually worth examining? Or is it just your basic copy-paste? Well, if there is anything hidden here, we're certainly not seeing it, though now, in retrospect, the thought does occur. Perhaps had we not examined those corpses before burying them, we might have come back later to a swarm of more mature, more combat-capable critters. Likewise, I'm sure had we left that poor gravedigger to finish this task on his own, he would have no doubt died, and we'd have returned to a gruesome scene there as well. Perhaps with the fellhounds or worms still picking over his savaged corpse. Okay, I think we're good. Which just leaves this. No, we are running a bit long, so perhaps best to save that for next time. We did make a fair bit of progress this time. We got our lead on food and medicine. We cleared out a number of dangerous critters, helped a few people. I think that's about as close to a feel-good ending as we're apt to get in this game, so probably a good note to leave off on for the time being. We'll hit the pause button for now. I will take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping. Perhaps do some trading, though we don't really have a lot of gold to spare just yet. And we will pick up here next time, as we go get goated. That's a thing people say, right? See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie B23, Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.